Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today we have Alex Ryals. He's a true cybersecurity expert. He oversees a $1 billion North American security practice for TechData. TechData is an American multinational IT distribution company with over 14,000 global employees, selling into over 100 countries. Prior to just going private, they were number 88 on the Fortune 500 and one of the Fortune's world's most admired companies. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve. Really appreciate you letting me be on.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on. We did a pre-interview, and I was like, I didn't want to hang up, man. You're just like a wealth of knowledge. So glad you're on. Well, first question: we're in a new economy, and with the increase of work from home solutions, I've heard cyber attacks have increased by over 400%. Why is that?
Well, I think it all comes down to opportunity. You think about hackers in other nation states, and they're always looking for excuses to come attack and steal from people. And think about what COVID has done in terms of opportunity for hackers. Most malware is deployed through email, right? Email scams. And so now a hacker can put together a pretty simple email that says something like, click this link to learn about how you can collect your COVID check, or click this link to learn about all the new cases in your local area. There's just so many juicy reasons to send out these spam emails to people to get them to click that link they shouldn't, and therefore download malware that then lets the hacker do all sorts of terrible things to people. So I think it's the opportunity available is really what's increased the attacks.
Yeah, phishing is huge. I mean, I just got a phony email from our new CEO yesterday wanting me to contact him right away and buy some gift cards. So it's like, nah, not doing that. But you mentioned phishing. How are some hackers also getting in besides phishing?
You know, there's a couple of ways. What's interesting in the last many months as we've moved our employees to work from home is that sometimes hackers now are attacking people at home because home networks are often not secured quite like businesses are. So for instance, your employer might give you that corporate laptop you take home with you. It has good endpoint security, good VPN technology on it. But what happens is I think a lot of employees transition and work from their personal computer while they're at home because it's more convenient. They have administrator access. And now all of a sudden they're doing work at home on a personal laptop that might not have endpoint. It might not have a VPN client. And so that is a juicy target for a hacker to come in. Many of the firewalls in people's houses are also off the shelf, Best Buy type things that aren't patched and become vulnerable targets as well. So that has become an interesting new vector of attack that we haven't seen historically in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Well, what can individuals or even organizations do? Well, like, what are some key strategies that organizations or employees can do to help combat that threat?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say it starts with training and enablement. It is important that every company give their employees good training on good password hygiene, for instance, making sure you always use different passwords for every website. You're using a password manager to track all those things so you can afford to have complex, long passwords. You want to make sure that you're training people how to look at an email with a critical eye and not just click links randomly. In addition to training, you also need to think about making sure you have good, up-to-date endpoint security on laptops and computers so that people are not as vulnerable to attack, and especially ransomware. In addition, you want to make sure that anytime employees remotely are accessing company resources, whether in the cloud or on premise, you always want to have a VPN client installed and enabled. That way your connection is encrypted. And then you want to have email security. It's not just enough to have good cloud services like Office 365 email. You need to have email security tied to that to make sure you're preventing spam and preventing any type of viruses that come through that mechanism through attachments. So that's a couple of things. There's always more to be done, but if companies would just do those basics, they would be in a much better position.
Yeah, well, to talk about, like, what is there, like, a free app or something that does password management? I mean, I know, like, I've got like 75 different places I log in, and I don't want to tell the bad guys that I kind of always use the same password because I can't remember. But, like, what's a good source for password management?
Yeah, there's several actually that are good on the market. Personally, I use LastPass. I pay a little bit every year to upgrade to a family edition where my entire family has it. And in fact, I can share passwords with my wife, whatever subset of my vault I want to share with her. So if something were to happen to me, she can still get into the bank account websites and all those things. So I use LastPass, but 1Password is also a great solution. Keeper is a good solution. RoboForm is a good solution. Most of them have free versions, and then they have, for 30 bucks a year or something, you can upgrade to something with a little more capability. But it allows you to store unique passwords and usernames for all of your websites without having to remember them, because it will auto-populate right into your phone or right into your web browser form fields without you having to type anything in. I have over 450 accounts in my LastPass account, and I have a different password for everyone. Because as a bad guy, if I wanted to hack your site, like a PayPal account or Amazon, I'm not going to go try to hack into Amazon. That's crazy. What I'm going to do is go to the last online company where you bought a pair of jeans that has very little security. I'm going to compromise their database and website, get their usernames and passwords, and then assume you're using the same username password combination at most of your other websites. And 7 times out of 10, that is the case.
Yeah, well, we better cut this interview short because I gotta go change all my passwords now. But one of the things that you revealed when I pre-interviewed you is that you have programmed in 26 different languages. I think you set the record for anybody I've ever talked to. But what's another little known fun or entertaining fact about yourself?
So yes, it's true that I'm a business executive, but I'm also a super techie. I love command line. I love to program. I have a little couple of projects on the side all the time, developing websites for people, or just keeping my hands on a keyboard. But I guess another little known fact is I love aviation. I have a private pilot's license, but recently I flew an air show routine. Not in an air show, to be clear, but I took a training class, and the whole routine that you've seen in any air show, barrel loops and hammerheads and flips and rolls and spins of all types, smoke on, smoke off. So I'm a big fan of aviation. I love acrobatics. So that's a little bit of a little known passion. Most of my friends don't even know
Wow, you're a fun guy, you're smart, and you're entertaining. I didn't think
that.
those things went together, but very good, man. Great answers, and thanks for sharing, and thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, thanks, Steve, for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, and thanks for watching, everybody.